Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for September 2010. Now it may not have escaped your notice that things suddenly started to speed up after a sort of a go slow. So it's been a dynamic sort of a time over the past few weeks. The flow of events has accelerated and there may have been some dramatic leaps forwards or maybe to either side. Maybe you were ambushed by something or had a surprise. This month, business and pleasure is the name of the game, and not necessarily at the same time, but it can be. So you'll be liaising with people, but also you'll be working. You know, it's about working a bit harder now, keeping your eye on the practical aspects of life, busily beavering away. It can be a bit hectic, and you'll be kept mentally on your toes, I think, as things unfold around work or health or tasks that you have to do, maybe a project you're working on, and you'll have to juggle a bit over the first few days in particular, but the 1st to the 4th is good for pulling together with someone. Take it easy when you can, though. Avoid stressing at that time, or again between the 19th and the 22nd, when something unexpected might happen. However big or small a thing that is, it's going to trigger a response in you to meet a need or figure something out or work around something or indeed go with it. But it's likely that a routine or a schedule may have to be changed in however minor or major way that is for you. Now, this is a great time for you to be dealing with the practical, physical demands of life. You'll be more ready to pitch in and help. Maybe you've got more work coming towards you, assignments, and indeed others could be more ready to pitch in and help. With support or an expertise. Maybe somebody is rendering a service to you, whether that's around the working environment, study environment, or indeed related to health matters. Either way, you know, you'll feel like you can't put things off anymore, and you'll be rolling up your sleeves and attacking that pile of papers or work or whatever it is in the corner, or working on that project. So getting organized is a key feature of this period. That's really over the first 3 weeks, actually. Could be sorting out your space, could be helping somebody else to sort out their space. It could be around repairs or maintenance, something like that. You'll be having to pay more attention to your own health, or maybe it's the health of somebody around you. Could be to do with, you know, their well-being in some way. So it's time for you to get organized in physical ways. Well, the energies are there to help you to do that anyway. And that, you see, this is the stitch in time saves 9 thing, because if you do that now, that's going to help you not only align yourself in readiness, but also pave the way for making the improvements now, paves the way, whether those are improvements to do with work, study, health, or better skills, even more know-how, for something that you're aiming at in the future, you see. So expect to have to cooperate and collaborate with sometimes, you know, difficult people, but actually it's Venus is helping you out there, so won't be that demanding. There will be moments, of course, but you'll just have to compromise sometimes. Others' inputs or demands or requirements or needs will be part of the picture, Aries. And, you know, a lot can be accomplished by teaming up with someone. Maybe you work for someone, maybe someone works for you, or maybe you're working together. So it's like a one-to-one thing, and that could be beneficial for you. Also, and enjoyable, I think, as well, you see, because Venus is in your area of close relationships, and although she switches into the next sector, it's still very much about getting close and intimate with someone. So some of you could find that a romance comes knocking on your door. And indeed, this position of Venus and where Mars is just now bodes very well for all our relationships. So whether that's with a mate or a potential mate, or a friend, or a pet, or whatever it is, you know, this should be a time of more ease there. And also, those of you working with others, or working for others, really, Venus is also a money planet, so Venus can make you more money now by collaborating with others or working for others, you see. Or maybe there's another who comes in with an influence or an idea or a request that leads to you getting some cash, you know, in your hand. So harmonious liaising can be tricky at the best of times. And certain close relationships or business type collaborations can, you know, they will have their moments of frustration because there's quite a traffic jam in that area of your chart at the moment. You've got Saturn in there as well, and that's a great tester. So that's where the challenge might come from. There could be somebody who is, you know, throwing a spanner in the works, maybe not on purpose, but that's just the way it kind of pans out with Saturn in this area, and Saturn's at the very beginning of that transit now. And there could be, you know, moments of conflict between you, a tension within you, could even lead to a battle of wills. That's more likely to happen after mid-month, though, when somebody's behavior just bugs you. They know just how to push your buttons, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're doing it without you realizing, and you don't like their style at all. So get your sense of equilibrium, your sense of balance through focusing on the relationships that are working. Now, as I say, Saturn's in the area of close relationships for 2+ years, and that means cultivating people. You'll be more in the mood to take your relationship seriously, whether they're business or personal. So you'll be wanting to cultivate. You'll see the value in building something up with someone, building a rapport, building an understanding, finding a way to do business together, whether that's personal or professional, combined through combined efforts. And in personal relationships, well, I think you'll feel like you just got to tend that relationship more, whether it's with a friend, a mate, a pet, whatever it's with, business. You've just got to attend it more. You've got to, you know, weed it and hoe it and really just take care of it more than maybe you have done. And be patient as well, because this is a slow burn thing too. So in existing close relationships, you may wish to get the thing on a more formal footing. Maybe somebody's come along and, you know, you really want to tie the knot. That's likely. Or in an existing solid alliance where the knot's already been tied, you may be noticing faults now. You may be thinking, I don't know that we can paper over the cracks anymore. You may be feeling a lack of equilibrium within your current setup somehow or another, whether that's within your control or outside of your control. So at times you may feel a bit on your back foot, or they do. Or sometimes you can feel that their suggestions are quite critical, or they do. You or they could feel more judged, or in fact judged in some way. So over this long transit of Saturn, you'll be reevaluating, reviewing, looking at what you mean to each other, what the joint expectations are about, and anything which is already crumbling is likely to collapse during this transit. I mean, seriously crumbling. But anything that's got really good, strong foundations to it and is a meant thing in your life, then over this transit of Saturn, you'll find that you bond even more firmly and with more commitment than previously. But like I said, at the moment, whether it's business or personal, you want to take the thing more seriously. No more the casual, sort of fleeting kind of relationship. You want no more the hurly-burly of the couch, more the deep peace of the double bed. And because you're seeking now balance in your close relationships, and you're willing to work at that, you will have to work at that. Now, I mentioned another long-term planetary influence. That's Pluto. That's going to be in your career sector for more than a decade, and that's going to bring in radical change there. It may already have started to affect you already, especially you early Arians. You know, the habitual place in the world, you thought you were kind of set there for until, well, whenever. You didn't know, you know, happy with it, or maybe it was good enough. Well, the thing about Pluto is that it's connected to snake energy. It's about transmutation. Snake energy is about slopping off the old skin and coming out into the new skin, right? So, Pluto, for over this long decade, will be helping you to do that. You will be reforming this image, this identity, this idea about who you want to be in the world, what you want to do there. And often it'll just be ticking away in the background, but then as transits come in, then you'll get, you know, events manifest. And Pluto is about upheaval and regeneration. So on the one hand, your appetite for power and influence will increase. You could get quite blinkered and compulsive about what you're doing because you really want to make a success of yourself on this wider stage, or whatever it is you're representing or behind. But on the other hand, Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, is likely to mean something has got to die away. Something has got to dry up and crumble away before you can move on. So clean slate. And this is like a slow evolution and a real rebirthing that's going to be happening with Pluto in this sector. So that's going to affect the public persona and the overall life direction, and could be very interesting. And the outcome of it is that you're going to find a truer path for yourself, or a path truer to yourself at this stage in your life now, Aries. Now, from the 23rd, relationships are still going to be lively, in fact, even livelier. And you'll see that two heads are better than one, and also two hearts for many of you. But you will, within that sharing and compromise, have to hold your course all the same. But you know how to do that, don't you, Aries? That's it for September. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. It'll put a different slant on what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.